And while his family was asleep, while his mother and father were sleeping and his 4 siblings, he shot each of them with a rifle. His mother and father shot him twice, I do believe, while they slept in bed. And then his 2 brothers and his 2 sisters shot them once in the back while they slept.
Today, police combed the DeFeo's handsome 3-story house for clues while divers explored the backyard swimming pool for the still unfound murder weapon. Police have been questioning the son, Ronald, and now say he is being, quote, safeguarded.
What about Ronald DeFeo, the son, the surviving son?
Ronald is being safeguarded by the Suffolk County Police at this time because there's 6 members of the family dead, and we don't know why, and he's the sole remaining member.
Is he also a suspect?
He's not a suspect at this time.
And just like the 1979 movie, the next family to move into the house was the Lutz family. And if I'm not mistaken, they only lived in this house for maybe a month or a little bit more before they moved out, claiming that the house was haunted. Now, their time here, they said they experienced swarms of flies in the house. They saw walls that oozed slime. They heard spectral voices. And the family reported sightings of a demon pig. Where in the movie, if I'm not mistaken, that pig's name was Jody. Now that house is right there in the middle of your screen.
6 people were killed in an awful mass murder. God knows it's got to be awful, in a small town on Long Island. The town is called Amityville. The murders took place in this house. 1 year later, George and Kathleen Lutz bought the house and they moved into it with their 3 children. After living there for 28 days, they were convinced the house was possessed by some kind of evil force, and they left their belongings and they fled, and they were really terrified. The events that supposedly took place there during those 28 days have been put down in a best-selling book. It's called The Amityville Horror, and there is now a movie out, or about to come out, of the book. George and Kathleen Lutz are with us this morning to talk about what happened during those 28 days in Amityville. The book and the movie depict all these kind of weird, strange things that happened in the house during those 28 days when you were there. What kind of things, George, happened physically? What were some of the things that happened that scared you?
Well, at first, just moving into the house was fine. It's a lovely house.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed moving in. Within a week, Kathy's hand had been touched by something that we discussed and couldn't explain. It was just something unseen.
Okay.
We also had hordes of flies that would appear within 2 rooms. And no matter how many times we would kill them, they would reappear.
All right, now flies can be a real problem in this part of the country in the summer,
Sure.
in any house, you know.
But if you have 2 or 3 or 4 within 1 room, that could be commonplace.
And it
But
was
when
the
you're
winter.
talking over 100,
Well, this was the winter.
yes,
And you're talking about how many?
over 100 flies
Over 100
at
flies.
one time, and then you'd go around and kill them. They'd be lying on the floor. You'd come back an hour later, and they would be there, more of them.
Okay. There's
We
something
had-
about green slime. What was that? On the wall in the movie, there's green slime comes out of the walls?
As the movie did it, not exactly, no.
Yeah.
It was more of a gelatin kind of substance that we thought the children had somehow mixed something up and spilled it around the house. The next time it happened, the kids were at school, and there was just no way to explain how it got there.
This is how the house looked back in 1974 at the time of the murders. And today in 2023, this is how the house looks right now. As you can see, some things have changed, and I'm sure you know the stories. They got rid of those half-moon windows and put the square ones in to try to deter people from coming and checking out the house. Here's a shot from directly across the street with the house right there in the center. Now there's another crime scene photo that was taken from right about here where you can see that they have it roped off so nobody can get on the grass. I think this is as close as we're going to get to the angle of that photo today. If you look closely at the picture, you can actually see both houses, well, at least parts of the houses on either side of the house. It feels really weird saying that I have a favorite crime scene photo from the murders that took place in 1974. But there's a picture that was taken from right about here of a detective with a metal detector in the front yard. And in this picture, you can see the house from about this angle. You can see those pine trees to the left of it. And if you look way down there, you can see the garage. There are other crime scene photos that were taken. In a few of them, you can actually see the officers carrying the bodies out of the house in body bags. I'm not going to show you any of those. But you would have seen cars in the driveway here. And then right over here, as we turn the corner, you're going to see the front of the house. It's actually the middle of the house, but it's the front. That's where you would have seen all those pictures being taken at.